With that, we bring in retired Vice Admiral Robert Harward. He is former Deputy Commander of U.S. Central Command and a fellow at the Jewish Institute for National Security. Admiral Harward grew up in Iran and went to school in Tehran as a young man. Admiral, very good to have you with us. Thank you for joining me today. You hear the president's frustration that he's not able to get to an agreement with the leadership. And then you hear Ghalibaf, the head of the parliament in Iran, sort of, teasing and saying, we're so much bigger than you are. You can't blockade Iran. So it seems the president believes that this blockade and the economic battle can ultimately bring Iran to its knees without further military strikes. Do you agree with that?
Well, it depends on how it affects internally. But yes, it's a sound strategy, and they're going to pay a very painful price for this. The issue is how long it will take. Now, Ghalibaf had a good point. It is a vast country, but the topography only allows really central points from them to flow stuff in and out of the country, from the north through Tabriz, through the west through Turkey, Pakistan. So we can control those flow points by striking them. We control the air. So I think the president still has so many of these options that he can be patient and let the economic blockade of the oil go on itself, or he can go after some of these supply lines. He can deny all the airspace. You saw the prime minister fly to Pakistan, fly to Russia. We could deny them flying. Any airplane in the air could be a target. So there are a lot of things the president still can and will do if he doesn't see results here. And I would add, I think this is beyond negotiations. It's purely concessions. Agree to dismantling the nuclear program, and there may be negotiations on how you do that, but that's gone. And then the free flow of commerce, that's indisputable. That's what he wants. And the longer they cease meeting those objectives, the more they'll suffer.
So what is your reaction, understanding the country as well as you do, when the president talks about this frustration, that you've got these social media posts from IRGC, the foreign minister, and Ghalibaf, and then you have the head of the IRGC, who doesn't seem to be particularly interested in any sort of negotiation, and says, look, there's no way we're giving up our nuclear program. It's not going to happen.
Tell me anything that's different from the last 30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been all same negotiation. It's just rhetoric and nothing more. And I think the real issue is the Iranian people who are suffering. There's going to be a tipping point where they can't get water, they're not getting paid, and that they are going to have to come to the streets regardless of the other actions. And that's where some of the president's options may have the most impact. How he can support the people of Iran. And he's been very clear in communicating that and meeting those objectives. So I'm sure those are some of the options they discussed with the chairman, the CENTCOM commander. And so we'll see how that plays out. But as you watch the stock market and all the other, time is on the president's hands.
So do you think that there is any real future of these negotiations with this leadership? I mean, it seems to me we're back at square one in terms of being stuck with this same mullah leadership that, has never really changed their opinions about how they see things. And you talk about the people in Iran who clearly want to have totally different leadership. They want to go back to the freedoms that they knew pre-1979. Is there hope for that still?
In my opinion, it's inevitable. It's just how we get there. How much destruction, how much pain the Iranian people can go through. And this regime knows that. If they relinquish those elements of power, they're doomed. So in my humble opinion, it's inevitable either way. We just have to stay the course. And I would tell you, everyone in the region is cheering for the president to stay the course. And so I believe he will, regardless of all the political rhetoric going on right now.
Yeah, he seems determined to finish the job. It's just a question of which way it's going to happen and whether or not another layer of leadership needs to go for those catalysts to begin to move is one of the decisions that's on the president's plate right now. He clearly wants progress. He's not a patient man, and he wants to see this, the wheels turning here to get to the end of this situation in a much better place for the Iranian people as well. Admiral, always great to see you, sir. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Good to be with you.